Alright, Shalom Israel, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, we'd like to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us 100% truth. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to the Aki and pushing truth and sincerity. And shalom to the sincere Aqua after maybe out there watching and learning. It's your brother call from the GMS Columbus Camp. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Just want to sit down and do a lesson today. In this lesson, man, I just want to, let Jake know, let the world know, man. Esau is going into slavery, man. Whether you people out there in the world believe it or not. Esau, saying a so-called white man, has done a great deal of hurt and a great deal of affliction to our people, and trust and believe that the Lord is counting all these things, and the Lord has it set up, to where soon enough, man, Esau will pay for what he has done. All right, and because at the end of the day, while everything was set up, for things to happen in a certain way, Esau has taken that and done a great deal of extra upon our people. And I want to get a quick precept, Zechariah 1 and verse 15. It says, I am very displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. You see, so Esau has done a great number on us. And I'm reading this in the NLT real quick. Zechariah 1 verse 15 in NLT, it says, but I am very angry with the other nations that are now enjoying peace and security. I was only a little angry with my people, but the nations inflicted harm on them far beyond my intentions. You see, and that's Esau, man. While they were in rulership, while they are above us, all right, in this time, they have done things so wicked and so nasty unto our people. It's only right that they are taken down. It's only right that they are taken out of power, and it's only right that they serve that slavery, man. They serve bondage, under us. All right. So I looked up an article. Well, not an article. I just looked up pretty much on a quick Google search. Says wicked things that done to so-called black slaves in history. It goes further than even this, but this is just an AI overview, and this is not even to mention, the different atrocities that the northern tribes had to deal with as well. But what's famous, here in America, of course, is what has been done to the so-called blacks, and like I said, the northern tribes even play a part into these things to this day, right? Especially in modern times. You see the northern tribes, Issachar, etc., dealing with, the deportations, and it's been heard around that, even those that are being deported, we're getting thrown over, thrown out of these ships, man, thrown out of these planes, these cargo planes that they've been taken out of, man. You see? So, there's been a great deal of pain and torment to our people. But just reading the AI overview, it says enslaved African people, which we know to be so-called black people, nor the southern tribes. It says enslaved African people and their descendants in the United States and other parts of America face unimaginable cruelty and violence throughout the period of slavery. Here are some of the horrifying wicked things they endured. It says brutal physical violence and torture. Whipping was a common punishment for various infractions, often leaving permanent scars. Slaves were subjected to branding, mutilation, including amputation, and other forms of physical abuse and torture. It says in extreme cases, slaves were tortured to death, such as being stripped and covered in tar and feathers, bound to horses and set on fire. Violence was inflicted not only by masters and overseers, but also by public authorities and vigilante groups. You see, that's heavy, man. You know, our people, bound to horses, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, our people were tied up to multiple animal horses and pulled apart. Our people were, flayed, skinned. Esau, cutting our men's rods off, man. You know, Esau has a deep rooted hatred, that's embedded within him, and he hates to see our people flourish, all right, in any aspect, all right. They hate that their women, wonder and drool over our men, over our people, man, over our culture, all right. They hate the fact that the world flocks to us, all right, and that's why to this day that Esau uses our people in the media, all right, and in the industry, all right, with that whichever industry it may be, whether it's a sex industry, whether it's a sports industry, all right, and even in political fields, even in the doctors, etc. They'll use Jake, in their commercials, just to show, hey, we got diversity. You see plenty of news clips or articles, speaking about, this so-called black man or whatever, was the first one to do this or the first one to do that, or they achieved at a higher level. So anything that Jake does in this society, we excel at. And Esau hates that, but at the same time they use us to their advantage because we are money makers. All right, from northern tribes to southern tribes. All right. But just reading a couple more, it says sexual exploitation and abuse. It says enslaved women were particularly vulnerable to sexual assault and rape by white masters, overseers, and other white men. This included forced pregnancies with children born into slavery, inheriting their mother's status, ensuring a new generation of forced labor. You see, and that's another thing, that will indicate that, because, the seed goes to the father. It comes from the father. You see, so, that's why, we don't go based off of skin color, because at the end of the day, the seed has been intermingled from Esau to Jake, etc., and vice versa, they're Jake popping their women, so, it's not a skin color thing, so when you hear, those different camps out there talking about black Hebrew Israelites, it's not a black thing, all right, as Elder Malcolm always starts his videos, it's not a black thing, all right, it's a heritage thing. This is our nationality, all right, so it doesn't necessarily mean, all black people are Israelites. No, that's not the case, all right, and this is a perfect example. You had Esau, raping our women, and impregnating them, man, so there are black Edomites out here, you see, just to gain that understanding. It's not just a black thing, all right, but it says, white women also participated in this abuse by punishing the enslaved women who were victims of their husband's violence. Enslaved men and boys also suffered sexual abuse and assault from white male enslavers, though it was less reported. Some slaveholders forced enslaved individuals into relationships to breed and to increase the slave population for profit. You see, so they would, and that's famous to this day. A white woman, they want to get impregnated by a big black man, or whatever race it may be. They want to, so-called keep their genes and gather these great genes, these great genetics, so they can have that superstar son or that superstar daughter. You got Esau with weird kinks. They want to watch their woman get popped by Jake. So, it's a great deal of wicked, nasty behavior that Esau has done to our people, man. All right. And just reading a little bit more, it says psychological trauma and dehumanization. It says the Middle Passage, the brutal voyage across the Atlantic inflicted severe trauma, depression, and sense of dehumanization. You see, having our people trapped under these boats, man, chained up, no touch with the outside world, man, treating us like dogs, all right? feeding our people, you know what I'm saying, like they're dogs, man, you know, just giving them just enough to survive, all right, degrading us, man, to the lowest estate, man, you see, and you know, Esau these days expect us to have forgotten about these things, or will be quick to say, oh, well, we didn't do that, I didn't do it specifically, all right, all right, but your forefathers did, man, all right. And you know, if you understand, you know what I'm saying, reincarnation, man, you know what I'm saying, the same men are brought back today, man, in both steads. All right. So you know, all you people have played a part in it, man, and that's why you motherfuckers come out with that deep rooted hatred, man. All right, because you are as your forefathers were, man. All right, we just live in a different world, man, where the affliction is different these days. It's more mental. All right, you know what I'm saying? Esau has found a way to grasp our minds and control our minds and manipulate our minds. All right, so while we may not be in a so-called physical slavery, we are stuck in a mental slavery nowadays. All right, where everything is geared towards our mental now. All right, and that's why Esau taints the food. All right, from these pops to these sodas. You know what I'm saying? From the ghettos to the hood, all these things, man, have been geared to what? Keep our people bound. All right. That's why they all these food stamps and all these different things were created, all right, to keep our people low. You know what I'm saying? That's why these other heathen nations are able to come into the hoods and take over. All right, they have their corner stores and, you know what I'm saying, their little food shops, right, where you can come and use your food stamp card and get some processed food. All right, some food that's not gonna benefit you and your health. All right. You know, all the liquor stores, all right, every corner store you go to, there's a liquor section with beer and whatever you want to drink, man, cut waters and buzz balls and all these different things that our people indulge in, all right? You know, all this processed sugars and chemicals and all these things are put in these stores, man, all right, to oppress our people, all right? And it's worked, man, and it's going to continue to work, man, until the Lord comes back, man, and that's the reason why we need, more reason why we need our Lord to return, man, so that righteousness can be established, man, so that way we may be pure again, all right, that we can be clean, all right, for once, you see. But just reading on, it says slave owners deliberately separated families and broke up marriages to break the spirit of enslaved people and prevent strong communities from forming. See, breaking up our families, man, taking the father out the home, right? Which is all these things are prophesied about, you know, but Esau has to pay for these things, man. You see? It says slaves were denied education and access to information, intentionally kept ignorant to prevent them from understanding their plight or organizing resistance. Psychological manipulation, including instilling fear and creating divisions among slaves, was a key control tactic. See, and I'm just reading these headlines. It says forced labor and harsh living conditions, violent suppression of resistance. See, so there's a great deal of things that Esau has done, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like we read in Zechariah 1, it says they forwarded the affliction. All right. It said the nations in NLT, it says the nations inflicted harm on them far beyond my intentions. You see, so they went overboard, man. All right, and then guess what? They gotta pay for these things, man. All right. So what's to come to Esau, man? Let's go to Isaiah 14. All right. Isaiah 14 at the top, it says, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, all right, which is, you know what I'm saying, going into the nation of Israel. All right, so it says, and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. All right, so, you know, our people, you know what I'm saying, will be united again, you know, because our people are very separated these days, man. All right, you know what I'm saying, and our people, you know what I'm saying, have become strangers, you know what I'm saying, because they have followed after Esau and his ways. All right, because they have, you know, they were brought to a Gentile state. All right, so when you see, you know, the word Gentile and the Gentiles in the scriptures, is not always speaking about, you know what I'm saying, the literal Gentiles. All right, it's also speaking about our people, you know what I'm saying, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, that have followed after and took on the ways and the fashions of the heathen. All right. It says, verse 2, it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them, and the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You see? So, our people, we're saying will be on top, all right? And our enslavers, all right, our oppressors, all right, Esau, all right, spearheading with Esau, all right, will be slaves under us, man, all right? And they will be doing a great deal of work, all right, including you other heathen nations, man, all right? But especially Esau, man, all right, because of the affliction that he's forwarded, man, because of the wickedness that he's promoted, all right? You know what I'm saying? You see in our society today, man, in the society today, this isn't our society, but in society today, the wickedness that's promoted, all right? You know what I'm saying? The wickedness that's thrown out there on the social media sites, man, all right? And guess who Esau uses, man? He uses Jake, all right? And that's why the music industry, all right, the rap industry, you know what I'm saying? All these things are promoted with wickedness, all right? From killing to stealing, all right, to adultery, all these different things that's promoted in this society, man, all right? It has been used to destroy our people, all right? And like I mentioned, you know what I'm saying, the grasping of our minds, all right? They have taken away our minds, man, and made us think that wicked behavior is a good thing, all right? And it's not, all right? Like it says in the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, all right? And they shall be captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors, man. Simple as that, man. All right? We will soon be rulers over this entire world, man. All right? And, there will be slaves, man. All right? We get another precept, Revelation 13, verse 10. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. See? Who led us into captivity, man. All right? See, you go through history, man, in the scriptures, man. All right? We were in the Egyptian captivity, Roman captivity, Greece, you know what I'm saying? All these different captivities, you know what I'm saying? And up until now, in America, man. All right, our people have been enslaved, all right, and our people have been in a low estate. Our people have been ruined, all right. Our people have, been in bondage, all right, for many, many years, all right. So soon enough, the tables will turn, man, all right, and our Lord, you know what I'm saying, will be, in rulership, man. All right, and just like the scriptures speak about, man, wickedness has exceedingly polluted this earth. All right, so it's only right that this kingdom will be taken down, Salaki. All right, and you Edomites, man, will be the ones in slavery, man. You heathen nations, man, from Moab, you so-called Asians, all right, you Elamites, Ishmaelites, all right, Arabs, all you motherfuckers, man, y'all going into slavery, man. All right, y'all gonna be under the rule of the nation of Israel, man. All right, leading with Yahushua, man. All right, King David. All right, the elect men. All right, simple as that, man. All right, for all the wicked things that you've done, man. All right, and we went through a great list of things that you've done, and that's just to the so-called blacks. You see, like I said, not to mention all the things you've done to the Native Americans, man. Treading on their land, man. Trail of Tears. All right, taking the lands, man. You see, and even when you pay attention to all these different land masses, you know what I'm saying, that are inhabited by Jake, from Mexico, etc. Mexico, was had a greater mass of land, all right, that stretched into the Americas, all right. And what did America do? All right, they found ways to take over these different lands, man. All right, America has found a way to put its name on all these different things, man. All these different lands. All right, from you got Panama Canal. You got Puerto Rico and all these different lands. You know what I'm saying? These are lands that are are owned by America now. All right. You know what I'm saying? So, while our people are there, man, they're under subjection to America, man. All right. And we know America to be the ruler pretty much of the entire world right now, man. All right. America has their nose. Let's say this. America has their nose in everything that's going on, man. All right. Majority of the things that go on got to go through America. And if not America, another heathen nation, China, Russia, these are all the big nations as well. All right. But all these nations, all right, spearheading with America, man, all right, have forwarded the affliction of our people, man, all right, and have downtrodden our people, man, all right. And at the end of the day, they got to deal with that, man, all right. But of course, there's many precepts, what I'm saying, that go into these things, man. But I just want to give a base understanding, man, and a base level, lesson, what I'm saying, just letting you know that Esau, what I'm saying, and you heathen nations are going into slavery, man, for the wickedness and the things that you have done, that you have promoted, that you have lived by, and that you have destroyed our people with. All right. So, for, that gives us a level of hope, what I'm saying, and for you, Jake, in the world that feel like, you want Esau to continue to rule, and that you feel like Esau should be saved, all right, all that, man. At the end of the day, the Lord is not dealing with Esau, man. The Lord is dealing with the nation of Israel, man. All right, simple as that, man. I'm gonna get one more precept, all right, for you people that love Esau so much. This is Romans 9 and verse 13. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So the Lord hates Esau, man. All right, simple as that. All right, so, all that, everybody can be saved and this and that. It's not an everybody thing. It's an Israelite thing. All right, only the nation of Israel can be saved, man. All right, and it's going to start with the elect, man, and a large multitude, all right? At the end of the day, bro. So all that, whatever y'all be talking about, the Christian church, man, all right? Everybody, what I'm saying, the whole world is not your family, all right? The Lord has set aside a great nation of people, all right? And that's the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? All right, going through, what I'm saying, our seed line, what I'm saying? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man, our forefathers. All right, so that's pretty much it, man. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory again unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachad, Quadash. Double honors again to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Shalom, and Abad Babal.